Hello, I am Dorcas Whitecap. I am IS Herald, and you have reached the internal decision meeting for Callantyr. Tonight we will be looking at the letter, the internal letter dated June 29th of 2017. So let's introduce ourselves. I just introduced myself. Zanita, can you introduce yourself, please? Oh, you're muted.
No, I have the mute button. I'm Zanita Baseggio. I am Red Hawk Herald for Callantyr. That means that I do external commentary on other kingdoms' letters.
Thomas?
Thomas de Groot, Herald at Large from Northern Ansteora.
Brigida?
Hello, I'm Brigida von München. I am currently Purple Falcon, which is the emergency deputy for our principal herald. I am former Saker Herald, and I'm also the Heraldic archivist.
Giovanni?
My name is Lord Giovanni Loredan. I am currently Kite Herald, which is the regional.
And you've frozen out.
Okay. I'm currently Kite Herald.
Okay, welcome. Let's go on to Gottfried.
I am Gottfried von Schwaben. I am, once again, current Saker Herald, which is for the external submissions process. So I take the letter from internal that's going to be decided upon today and then fix it up and post it out for Laurel commentary and submission.
And Herveus, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Herveus Dermond, Morceless Herald, Gnome Herald, etc. I'm from Atlantia. Here I am.
All right, welcome everybody, and welcome to all our viewers at home and all of the ships at sea. So let's, just without further ado, let us go and start with item number 1, Elitis Zophilara, new name.
I found no conflicts.
Yeah.
Docs are good.
Docs are good. There's only one other Elitis registered, and it's clear.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and send that one up. Item number 2, Anastasia de Carrara, new device. It was drawn on a picnic table at Lily's War.
This was very nicely drawn for being drawn on a picnic table.
Exactly correct, yes.
And this is her third submission for a device, because she's from my local group, so I've worked with her on this. And she's actually very happy that the first 2 didn't go through because she didn't like the red and the black.
Where did the first 2
they got returned at Kingdom.
At Kingdom. So this is going to be a brand new to Laurel. Got
Correct.
it. Check. Okay.
Because that's what was in the boxes on the form.
Right. It's technically new because it's been several years.
Okay, but has it been less than 5? Because
no, it has not.
Okay.
It has been more like 10.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
All right then. But we all pretty much like this. Solveig pointed out that the border is just a teensy bit thin, but I'm sure it's registerable as is.
It's just
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
People make comment. Yeah.
Okay. Then number 3, Brynjolf Smithbronder, and I will take the blame for submitting Smithbronder rather than Bronzesmither. The documentation that I was reading at Lily's suggested that the Smith needed to go in front of the brand, and he really prefers the brand in front of the Smith, so I'm happy to be wrong.
Well, if Frida says Bronsmither is the more likely form, I would give significant weight to that. And if the submitter would rather have Bronsmither, then by all means make the change and tell and charge ahead.
That's certainly my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Woo-hoo.
All right, then. Moving
Now
on. Anybody have
I was
any
going to say, the only thing that they may do, I don't know if they'll keep it capitalized or if they'll make it lowercase.
As of, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 8 years ago, they started saying, yeah, go ahead and capitalize it, even if it's not technically right. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
ready.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't think it won't register because of it, but I just don't know if they'll change it on him because of it. So, okay.
And I'm pretty sure they won't change it.
Okay.
if you send it up capitalized, then and especially if you mention he'd really rather it be capitalized, then unless it must be uncapitalized, it won't
Right.
get messed with.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm pretty confident about that. So I have made the note that we're going to change it to Bronsmither and send it up. I have a question about how many S's belong in the middle there.
I can pull out my Gearbasi and take a look.
Although Frida says 2 S's in there.
Well, if that's what Frida says, go with what Frida says.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
You're
All
not gonna get yelled at for that.
All right.
No.
All right. Are we ready to move on to number 4?
Yep.
All right. Dashunigan of Callantyr. Her current name is Dash Unigan, and she has always wanted it squeezed into a single name, Dashunigan. So then the of Callantyr as a locative by name. So she did some research, and it looks, I think she makes a good case for Dashunigan.
Yeah.
Solvig makes a very polite case, I think, that she thinks this is not correct and not sufficiently documented. On the other hand, that's probably above our pay grade.
Yeah, I would probably send it up, but I was kind of looking for the documentation of why we could put those two things together too.
She has a couple of examples. Compounded Mongolian names documented in combined form in Marta's article. For example, Ogchigan and Munokoi are examples that she gives.
Do we know where in those 2 examples that she gave, where a kind of a break off given name could come from? As in, would it be like odd chicken? That where the split is between the D and the C? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, what I'm reading just here is the names relate to each other. It's not like Bob Fox. It's Big Eyes, 9 Spans. The 2 things relate to each other. So I think that's what Solvig is coming up with, and that's kind of what I'm like. I'm like, where's the? I'm still reading through the article, so I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay.
Does Dash, as a given name, does it have a meaning?
Let's see if Marta would. Well,
good
I
luck.
can't.
It does not?
It says good luck in the article.
Good luck.
Okay.
Oh, so she would be good luck.
It
Fox.
means good luck as opposed to good luck finding the meaning. Check. Okay. Right. Okay.
Oh, then I would. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I would put that in the documentation to sending it up.
Yeah.
Dash means
Yeah.
good luck. Ungen means fox, so this is good luck fox.
I mean,
Exactly,
it's
and that's what they're
listed
driving
Unigan,
for.
But yeah, include that in the dash part.
Hmm.
Right.
There's a name that means Birdman. Sorry.
I continue to not
Fire
fully
us
understand the black magics of name heraldry.
And ever so
Well,
slowly.
you take a rubber chicken.
Yes.
And sacrifice it at midnight.
Rubbing
Have a
it
lot of
with cayenne peppers.
And coffee beans.
But don't forget the bacon fat.
Oh, that's right.
I prefer to use duck fat.
Them's fighting words.
And moving on.
Yes. Are we ready to? I have
Yes.
a note here saying that we should include the meaning of dash is equal to, it means good luck, and send it up.
Right, and then at the same time, what we're trying to do is have a compound relating to, instead of bad dog, relating to a
Mhm.
lucky duck or
And these
or lucky fox.
these two names are actually in the same article. They're both in that second mongol.html link.
Oh, check. Okay, that'll help too. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would write out the dash documentation the way that
Right.
Unigan is. And actually, I think that's misspelled.
Oh,
According to the article, let me find it again. There could totally be some weird thing about how it changes. Nope, never mind. My bad. I read it wrong.
oh,
We're
good.
good.
All right. Well, okay. So that's the last little note that I'm going to put on it before the letter closes. That we're going to include the meaning of dash, and that, include it and format it like the Unigan Fox line is formatted.
Right, check.
Okay. Okay, moving along. Number 5, Gaius Flavius Auxilius, his device, his resub. At kingdom level, there was a conflict, so it never made, the previous one did not make it out of kingdom. This is not a complete redesign, but it's a significant redesign.
It is significant. But I think what the changes that he made absolutely maintains what he had and clears the conflict without introducing any others. I think that is spot on.
Adding a charge chief is one of those bingo kind
Yeah.
of things all the time.
It was helpful too that he changed the orientation of the gemstone, but we will need to blazon that is a hexagonal gemstone. But by
Okay.
doing it in that portion, he took the step from period, the SFPP out.
Okay, so I'm typing add the word hexagonal to the blazon and send
Check.
it up.
Yes.
It was really funny. He was not sure if he wanted the profile of the gemstone until I referred to it as a Superman gemstone, and he says, "Well, find that." Okay, hexagonal gemstone it is. I'm not manipulative, not at all.
No.
You're helpful.
I'm helpful.
Every good herald is manipulative.
All right, are we ready to move on to number 6? Okay.
Yeah.
Julia Isabella de Venezia, her new badge.
Is this
Striking.
Her Excellency Lonely Tower?
That's who she is.
Okay.
Right.
I like that badge.
Yeah.
Me too.
A lot.
Oh. And Serafina cites a valid conflict because we don't give difference between rosebuds and roses.
Well,
Yeah.
and yet we do. In the LOAR of 1295, December 1995, there was a DC granted. Earlier LOARs, 93 and 93, they did not. But the most recent, because they stopped registering rosebuds in
Right.
94.
I-
So I am pretty sure, and also given the visual difference?
I think the biggest argument would be that yeah, I get it that it's been so long since they had a precedent on the difference, giving a difference between the two. However, they also stopped registering the others, so that probably would be the long-standing precedent. I'm comfortable with setting that up, but I have to make that case.
Right. There could not be a more recent precedent. There couldn't be anything
Right.
more recent because they just plain don't have the rosebuds.
Right.
I would say send it up, let Reef make his decision.
Right. But I need to couch my argument to those terms that, yeah, last was 93, but in 90 or 94, 95.
94.
Yeah.
95
Last was
the precedent.
5. Yeah,
I
last
wouldn't
was
don't give them too much information. I would just say we think that there's a difference.
That there's the two DCs.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody asks, literally the most recent precedent says that there is. So
Which could get overturned, but you know that's
Sure.
just
Well, I will stand ready to post the picture because of Fiona Julianne Nick Lowry's device, because I think that will carry a lot of weight, having it right there.
Yeah, they look much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is extremely distinct.
All right, are we ready to move on to number 7?
Yes.
Johannes Gast, new resub badge. Once again, drawn on a picnic table at Lily's.
I should get up to Lily's some year.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
Of course, I can't even get to my own Kingdom's War, so.
Oh,
No. Ow. What was?
so does anybody have anything about? I think the bear is of a perfectly reasonable size.
it's not co-primary. That's a sustained bear, not a co-primary bear.
Right. It is issuant from.
Therefore, if
okay.
it was any larger, we'd have issues.
I wouldn't say we'd have issues necessarily, but
But I can think of some heralds who would.
well, if it's co-primary or not, it makes no difference from a style perspective. It might from a conflict perspective. This one looks like this is a sustained secondary bear,
Which it is.
which is there's no judgment on that. That's judgment about it. It's just that what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the blazon might be better phrased issuant from the top of a tower sable, a demi-bear, rampant ghouls, to emphasize the tower first.
That's probably how I would do
Check.
it too.
Okay.
Yeah. Reverse
And
check.
and Reef can the blazon can get tweaked further as warranted, but I'd mention the tower first.
Okay, so this is me. All right. From the top of the tower sable, a demi-bear, issuant. No. How's that?
No.
Issuant
Fearless,
from the
issuant
top
from-
of a tower sable, a demi-bear, rampant ghouls.
check.
There we go.
Actually,
think
drop
we-
the rampant. We don't need it.
And you don't need the top of, just issuant from a tower, a demi-bear, ghouls.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. The rest of it just follows naturally. And the blazon
Okay.
can be adjusted later by Reef.
Okay.
As
All right. Fieldless, issuant from a tower sable, a demi-bear ghouls. Period.
yep.
All right.
Okay.
And send up. Okay.
That awesome. The reblazon makes it even more awesome because that's a cool badge.
Yeah.
Yes. Are we ready to move on to number 8? Judith Warren, name and device. Let's talk about the name first.
That's sad.
Excessive
This one
temporal
for-
compatibility.
Come on, we dated it. We dated it as best as we could within 5 minutes of each other. Okay, so
As I said, excessive temporal compatibility. That is an obligatory remark.
Well,
This is why I like heralds.
Well, okay, so the name, I'm making the note to send up. Okay. The device now. I want to go on record. YouTube is forever. Kevin McKee draws stuff at Lily's every year, and he does an amazing job every
Yes, he
year.
does.
And he is there for us. And so, Kevin, if you are watching this video later, thank you.
Yes, Kevin is the awesomest, and I always hand him stuff going, can you draw this weird thing? And he looks at me, and he sighs, and he picks up his pencil, and then he draws it.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
All right, so this is an Enfield.
hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
No.
For being done on a picnic table, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
I just keep thinking there's got to be some way to blazon this with counter changing.
No.
Nope.
There's
Nope.
nothing split over a division or anything like that, so it's you got to do it all.
I will point out that this is a lesson that I had to learn. It took me a long time to learn that a chief and a base, those are things that go on the field rather than a place where you divide the field.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
I want to make things out of that craft foam so that you can layer them and see the layers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll talk Wednesday.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, so I'm going to make a note. Number 8, send up.
Yep.
The device, send up. Are we ready to move on to number 9?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kata Inkiri, which her name, and according to Frida, bleh, according to Frida, it probably ought to be Inkira.
Yes.
And I asked her, I sent her an email, and she said, yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Now, a single letter, I do not think is a major change. I think it's just a minor one if they do it.
But if the
No
submitter
major
says,
changes, so we should be good.
if the
Yeah,
submitter
well, yeah,
said
yeah.
that's fine, then you know
They're
that's
golden.
It's
You've
even
got
if it's a
that
major, we
question.
change. Right.
if the
I would-
submitter's- yeah, the submitter can say okay.
Yeah. I would
Okay.
almost say go ahead and send it up as Inkiri with the note that says the submitter has been contacted and is okay with Inkira.
Mm,
Why?
I don't know if we have
Yeah.
to change
No,
it or not.
well, I can-
she
I can-
desires
well-
a feminine name.
But we can.
right. And I can
Yeah.
put in, change the name, put in the note. It was changed at Kingdom at the submitter's request.
Well, not at the submitter's request, but
Well,
with the submitter's
with
permission.
the submitter's permission to
Yes.
make to what am I going for?
Try to match the gender of both the beginning name and
Right, match your desires.
Yes, submitted as Inkiri. The submitter okayed the change to Inkira to make it a feminine form.
Or just in accordance with commentary.
Thank you. That was the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
English, not it's failing me today.
All
I
right.
stayed out of the kitchen for a little bit. That's a little too easy.
You might need to mute Herveus.
I can do that. Although he's not the one with the ringing phone, I am. And it has stopped. Okay, he's muted. We'll just tell him, remind him that he is muted when he comes back and says, what? All right, are we ready to move on then to number 10, Knorr, Bessinger, new name, and new device?
I think the K is silent.
Sure. Okay, I'll be happy to pronounce it without it.
I
Okay.
have no idea. I think I was introduced to him at Lily's, and I think he was saying his name was Nor.
Alrighty then.
The only reason. I could totally have been talking to another person, too.
Okay. So the question is whether there's an extra E near the end of Bessinger. If Gunvor says she thinks that Gearbasi has a typo, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also okay with sending it up as is and letting Pelican make the change.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Herveus is back.
Herveus, you are muted because you went away and we weren't sure about. Let me see if I can.
I'm unmuted now.
Okay, good.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes.
Now, do I send it up with the O or the O organic?
Oh, definitely got us change the spelling to include the O Oganek.
Yes, we just
Okay.
had that issue in Onsteora at the last meeting.
Check.
I think I would agree with keeping the extra E in there to send it up
Yeah.
so that they're both from Gearbasi as well.
Oh,
And
right. Check.
They can
Okay.
change it.
Yeah, and you
Right,
can
right.
point out in the docs of the possible misspelling in Gearbasi, just to give Pelican a heads up.
Right.
And we're unlikely to punish a submitter for relying on Gearbasi and a possible typo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
On the other hand, it's not that the name isn't registerable, and we don't know that he didn't mark any of the boxes of doom, thank goodness.
so
Check.
So I think if he comes back and he's gained a curlicue and lost an E, I don't think he'll like panic and run.
yeah.
The boxes of doom.
Allow
Don't make
no
any
changes.
Yes.
Independent.
That's the one you like.
Nor more names have been thrown upon the rocks of failure for the
Yeah.
boxes of Dune being checked.
Yeah,
It's
pull
really
down
bad.
Thomas, pull down a submission form. They are the no major changes, no major minor changes.
And what's
No,
sad
I
is
know-
something.
I knew what you're talking. Once you said the changes one, I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well,
Just
the
when
the
submitters
really
fill out the forms themselves, they just kind of go down there and it's like, oh, look, there's check boxes. I guess I have to check one. No.
I
and
never
here's
let
the
the client fill out the forms themselves.
Here's the sad one that I just learned at Known World. If you check the no major changes and you're going between Gaelic and Anglicized Scots or something of that nature, it may be something that is as simple as a single letter change. But when you change that single letter to bring it in compliance from Gaelic to Anglicized Scots, that is considered a major change, not a minor change.
Because you're changing languages.
Languages.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's why all those names get kicked back.
Yeah. So,
Look for that whole regime to get somewhat clearer and less likely to be a dangerous thing as the electronic submissions and stuff move forward.
Mm.
okay, Herveus, you're
Concern.
freezing up.
I think I might have been cocky enough to check the boxes of doom on my own name submission.
Well, it got registered, right?
I did all the research, but I did all the research and had Emma do my conflict check.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I did
The shawl at the time.
I did a name form for somebody, and I emailed him the form, and I said, print this, mail it to the Submissions Herald with your check. Well, he printed it, and he said, oh, well, Dorcas does these forms. Everything's good. So he checked the boxes. I didn't check them. He checked the boxes, and it turns out I had an old copy of Your Bossy with umlauts instead of ogoneks.
Oh.
That was a
Ouch.
spelling change. Yeah, we were scrambling. It's like, why did you check the boxes? Well, you did the forms. I knew they were right. No.
No.
All right. Let us move. All right. So we are going to spell Nor with the O ogonek, and
Yes.
we're going to leave the second E in Vessinger with probably the expectation that Pelican will take it out, but we don't need to take it out.
Right.
All right. Okay, so his device. Oh, dear.
Orders reblazon is the one I would go with. I don't know about this device. I don't.
Who's reblazing?
Board
yours. Elena
Oh.
with Argent, a Velknut sable between two axes, a Dorst in pile ghouls, and in chief 3 Escutian sable. It almost makes more. It makes sense almost. I think it's much better than the current blazon. I don't know about this. I feel like it's. I feel like it's going to get bounced for some reason.
I've got Appendix
Redraw.
J concerns.
Right.
Evan's in the background listening and may chime in kibitz.
Okay, so
Okay.
Appendix J. Off the top of my head, I am not remembering what that is.
That's well, arrangements of charges that don't need to be documented.
Aha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because this is a really weird arrangement.
Here, let me get over to Senna and get down to Appendix J, and now I'll show you this.
Bring enough for the whole class. I see you in the background there. Did you bring
The hell?
You're not hiding, Evan.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
This looks like a central ordinary, a secondary charge group around the ordinary, numbered charges, 2 of them, and a peripheral. Oh, not a peripheral ordinary. And it's not an ordinary. Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah, there's no ordinary there.
okay. I mean, we have a very charge group, and we
Okay.
have what looks like 2 secondary charge groups.
which two secondary charge groups is okay.
No. It's not 2 secondary charge groups. It's 1 charge group.
If
So you're saying the escutcheons and the Dorst axes are a secondary charge group.
Yeah.
if they are a secondary charge group in and of collectively are a secondary charge group, then we're okay.
No, we're not okay because then we hit orientation, don't we?
Well, that's not an. Let's
Back up.
one issue at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. Escutcheons are escutcheons. They don't really have an orientation.
Yes.
But the axes
correct.
do.
But they're a Dorst.
Anyway.
So a Dorst in pile.
Which is a
I
blazon.
mean, I don't think we have a unity of posture issue,
No.
especially with recent clarifications. Question is that 1 secondary charge group or 2?
Yeah.
And you're not returning it at Kingdom on that basis.
No.
No, we are not.
No, we're sending it up.
No.
Yeah, we're
No.
gonna.
I can see sending it up to Laurel with the caveat of we are not sure whether this counts as 1 secondary charge group or 2. Please
Right.
discuss.
Yes.
Because this is
Now, I
That
will
is
tell
beyond
you.
your pay grade, and aren't you glad?
Yes.
All right, so I have a
Yes.
story about this. When this submission was first sent to me, it was sent by Gunnar, who surely ought to know better, but he sent it to me on ancient forms. And I returned it administratively, not anything official. I just emailed him and I said, these forms are really out of date. I really can't accept this. Hey, while you're at it, because let me tell you, the axes in the first one, the axes were bigger and the bulk nut was smaller. And I
Ooh.
said, while you're at it, do you mean for the bulk nut to be a primary charge, surrounded by the axes and the escutcheons as secondaries? And he said, yes, that's the point.
Okay.
The bulk nut is supposed to be primary. So he redrew it. He tweaked it just a little bit. I didn't tweak it. It was not changed at Kingdom. I'm on record. The submitter changed it.
No.
I'm so mad. Still mad. All right. So anyway,
I did
made the bulk nut bigger and the axes smaller. The escutcheons are the same size that they were. However, it's blazoned and whatever, the intent is for the bulk nut to be primary.
I didn't have any hesitation about seeing the bulk nut as primary.
Right.
First glance,
Yeah.
okay, primary, and
Right.
secondary.
I agree.
There may be some people who kvetch about it, but
You'll have this.
Yeah.
Well, and that was one of Solveig's comments.
That's part of the Reese meeting drinking game.
That's one of Solveig's comments. The blazon makes it sound like the axes are supposed to be secondaries. Well, they are.
They are.
Yeah.
But Solveig didn't immediately see them as secondary, and which is not an unreasonable thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the axes and the bulk nut were supposed to be co-primaries.
And
I do think he was right about the Appendix J.
Yeah, I know.
But again, that is above our pay grade.
Yeah,
that's the only question as to whether we got one or two secondaries, and if we send it up asking that question, then at least they know that we're considering it, but it's above our pay grade. You get to decide.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. If those axes were smaller and in base, that'd be no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was like, in base 2 axes and saltier, that would have been real easy, but that's a different design. So there's I would not jump up and down if this were to be deemed off, co-primary. The axes just get above the professed line.
Yeah.
So it's this one.
I can see where there could be vigorous discussion about this at the Laurel level.
One can expect a measure of commentary on this one, shall we say?
Yes.
Okay, so drop the hockey puck and stand back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I mean,
all right, so that's kind of the note. Reblazon and mention that any Appendix J issues are above our pay grade. So send up.
I just did a quick check, and since this is sometimes used for educational purposes, as far as I can tell, the K is pronounced, so it should be Knorr.
Ha!
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right, so shall we move along to items number 11, name and device, Komagaya Hideyoshi, name.
I got no issues.
Solveig's commentary about a middle name being required, I just don't think she's correct.
she says should be, not must be.
Right. Granted, she wrote the book, but I think that's the key.
How the other name elements are constructed.
Yeah, that's the key. It's should be, but is not absolutely required. I think is the
Right. I think it is registerable without. So I am
Yes,
all about.
we can document several instances where it's been registered with just the two parts to the name.
right.
Now, for education purpose, okay, the fact that Kumagaya is a family name and not an Uji name, meaning that it's the military class and they always had the middle name, that is very useful education. And so, you know, gosh, I wish there had been somebody there to tell the submitter that historically he ought to have one, and he might have been fine with it. But as it's submitted, SCA rules require a first name and a last name. This has those.
So
I say send it up, send the name up as is.
yeah, you might reach back to the submitter and mention this if they would like to visit that. You could always withdraw this name and come back with a new one and short circuit the cycle. So, you know, consulting with the client in light of this, that they, you know, quite reasonably were not aware of at the time, and maybe they go, okay, and you know, things can be done. But yeah, I wouldn't not send it up on that possibility.
Yeah, no.
So definitely talk to the submitter sooner rather than later about the possibilities.
All right, today is Monday the 24th. This needs to be, basically there's 1 week until the deadline for publishing the ELOI. If he came back with a very generic, easy to swallow middle name, we could bypass the requirement for kingdom commentary, other than conflict check, and we could just add the middle name. We've got a week to get a hold of him and see if he wants to add a middle name, and still let it go on the next external letter, right?
Yes, in the entire ONA, there's only one other Kumagaya registered.
Score. No conflicts already.
Correct.
Okay, so where is he from, and who wants to take point on contacting him?
I have no idea where he's from.
And it was a Lily's War submission. He could be anywhere.
Do you have the form? You can link an address?
I'm looking right now.
I do have.
I'm looking right now.
Boisdark?
Oh,
Where is Parsons?
That's Boisdark. They don't have a herald.
Yep.
Okay.
So who's the regional? Well,
Marie Sparrowhawk.
okay.
Well,
Does he have an email?
yes, and I can, if somebody's willing to do this, to take this, because I just can't take it on. I'm busy at work, and I just can't take it on. So I can email you his email address if you're willing to pick it up, Zanita.
Yeah, I can try.
All right. All right, thank you.
And
Okay.
even if he is amenable to the idea and doesn't act quickly enough, you can send it up this way, and if he comes back on, well, actually, no, I'd like this, you can always withdraw this name and put the new one on the next letter.
Yep.
And that would leave his device kind of.
He'd get a holding name.
It wouldn't affect the device at all.
Yeah. This is a case where law could make a holding name.
Yep.
And it'll, you know, the next month there'll be a name change from holding name. That's not a big deal.
But I think the key wording is here, we don't withdraw the name per se,
Nope.
because then that would send everything back.
No. If
So we just,
No, we do withdraw.
yes, you do withdraw it. If the name submission is withdrawn,
right.
then Pelican doesn't have to think about it. It just gets marked returned because the submission was name was drawn by the submitter. That's not.
The other thing could be is you could just withdraw both of them and just resubmit it on the next LOI with the new name if the submitter is amenable to that.
That's not necessary.
True, it's not necessary, but it's a little cleaner.
Well, I'm just trying to
the
think.
client doesn't want a holding name.
You don't have it for a month.
Holding name's nothing. Yeah, that's about
I
right.
know, but some clients get kind of miffed.
Did they check? Well, you know, if that's the thing, you would explain to him the armor would get registered under a holding name, and the next month it'll get changed over.
Since I'm contacting him about the name, I'll talk to him about it and see what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe he just wants to go with this, which is fine too.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. So I'll finish up that email to you, Zanita. The note is Zanita will contact the submitter to suggest a middle name. Otherwise, send up.
Okay.
All right. So the device. A bear meatloafant.
This is a very nicely drawn meatloafant. I don't think
It
he's
is.
meatloafant at all.
You can't
Because-
can't do much better, especially for
unmistakably a bear.
Yes, it is unmistakably a bear.
and the head is in profile, which is not a negotiable point really
Right.
for dormant.
The only artistic note I would have would be to bring it a little closer to the center, but
But it was drawn on a picnic table.
it was drawn at a picnic table with Lily's war.
On my light pad. Yay!
It is yeah. At most there'd be an artist note saying center of the bear head,
Yeah.
and maybe not even that.
Yeah, if that bear rolls over, he's going to fall out of bed, though.
Not my problem.
Send up. All right, are we ready to move on to number 12?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael the Wanderer. Name and device. Okay. What do people think about the name?
Surprisingly clear. I went and did a look on the O&A, and I just threw a dart at the wall and said, okay, at the very least, let me do a check against the term the Wanderer, and I pulled up 175 items. 4 are kind of close, only because they start with M's, and none of them are anywhere near Michael or pronounced Michael.
Yeah. So.
Solvig's quibble, well, okay, it's not a quibble. It's a sincere commentary about the registerability of the Wanderer.
Right.
Anybody have anything to say there?
I would say if Gottfried found 175 registrations, it's probably acceptable by the college.
I can't find Wanderer.
Trumbrand the Wanderer, September 2015, as Dorcas says. I mean, that's a recent registration that plausibly establishes that the Wanderer is at least registrable.
I think the documentation looks good.
Yeah.
I would say it should be good to go.
I even like the argument that's made in the about being the lingua anglica of Le Wanderer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
The registration of Trumbrand sites in April 2009. Which you can't have the wanderer, it's just got to be wanderer or traveler in that case. They ruled that traveler was registrable as constructed by name, but here, yeah. So it's it's the wanderer's lingua anglica form, yeah. So as we find more data, we sometimes adjust the rulings to account for, no kidding, we found this stuff. So Solveig's comment really doesn't change anything.
And the Appendix A citation is on point with Middle Early Modern English descriptive or occupational by names may use the article the or let or omit it. So
Yes.
I think we're good.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the device.
I love it.
It's
Her
beautiful.
chevron, as an or, 2 sheaves of arrows, and a triskelion of legs counterchanged. I like this a whole lot better. He wanted something to suggest the wanderer, so he was going to think about footprints until somehow he got a picture of a triskelion of legs. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is much better.
I blame the Isle of Man.
Such a can't. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
The
don't
arrows
think.
are heavy enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think the arrows are too thin.
No,
The only-
they are naturally
the only-
thin, and there it is.
They are fine.
And
In the color corrected version, which the purpose of the color corrected version is to maybe catch stuff like that. If they were too thin to show, that would show.
Yeah, that actually shows up in the color corrected, which is pretty awesome because they have a tendency to not.
I was going to say the only issue I had with the sheaf was that it could look like a garb instead, but the arrowheads are so plain on there that
yeah.
Shout out to Honorable Lord Logan Munro, who did this artwork.
Very
Nice.
nice job.
Very nice.
agreed.
All right, so
I mean,
I'm
this-
putting send up on his
Yeah.
device.
This is something I would look into a roll of arms and expect to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, are we ready to move on to number 13? Odnef Kanarabringer. Name and device. So about the name, she constructed a by name from bits from Nordist Runum's lexicon. She doesn't really care about the gender of the name. She likes the first syllable odd. That's what she wants.
Yep. Now here's the question. I mean, sending it up and having it that she doesn't care about whether it's a male name, that's awesome. But I think I still have to have it checked as they desire a female name or feminine name, but I have to put in a subnote that the submitter really doesn't care.
Yeah, you could put in during commentary the submitter was contacted and says she really doesn't care.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
I mean, there's the email correspondence referenced there, and I don't care. I don't really care if my name is male or female. So
Quote.
and
Yeah.
also you can. I had a submitter who wanted Carrie as a given name,
Yeah.
and she was insistent on that. And when I said Carrie is only a male name, she said, "I don't care," and the rest of the name was fine, and no one would mistake her for a male.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
that's how we
but-
got
yeah,
Emmett.
but we
And it
don't
was
care.
listed as a
We don't
female
care.
name.
So
Within
gives me
the
a
past
mental-
couple of years, maybe 4 years or 5 years, there was the submitter with the mundane legal name of Severin, and she wanted to register Severin Svensdotter. And it was pointed out that in period, Severin is a male name, And so Severin would not be Sven's daughter. Severin would be Sven's son. Ultimately, it was registered as Severin Sven's daughter because the legal name allowance includes neutral in just every aspect you can imagine.
Yep.
So they agreed to register Severin Sven's daughter. I don't think there will be an issue with Odnef being somehow masculine and Narabringa being somehow feminine, and they wouldn't go together. Now, we're aware that Narabringa probably is most often used to describe a woman, but it's not specifically and explicitly a gendered kind of byname.
I could
Correct.
totally see Vikings calling some man merchant ship chest.
Oh,
Yeah, somebody's really got a bunch of he-hooters, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah. And the Norse would never poke fun at somebody like that. Ever. No.
Love
We
spear.
don't register all the things. There are things though that we won't register. Yes.
Yes.
All right, so Odnef. All right, but the change of the spelling from the second syllable N-A-E-F-R to just being what is it? N-E-F-R. So that is a spelling change that the submitter is okay with.
Right. If you could do me a favor when you put that note in there,
Yes.
give me the two elements that she wants exactly, because I just want to make sure that Narabringa is going to be, which I get lost in
I
the
am
conversation.
copying and pasting.
Yep, that works.
All right.
It looks like Frida ultimately says if she's willing to have a masculine name, Orte. And we got Odd Mumble and we got Mumble Nefer which adds up to what's right up there at the top of the page. Odd Nefer, however the heck you say that.
Yes. So the Odd Nefer is Old West Norse, and she said, I am okay with the Old West Norse. So I have copied and pasted the spelling Odd Nefer into my note, and I will send those notes to you.
Thank you. Excellent.
All right, her device, once again drawn by Kevin McKee on a picnic table at Lily's. And let me tell you, these picnic tables are rough and bumpy and just awful to work at.
Yeah, they were probably smooth half an eon ago.
I don't think they were smooth when my first Lilies, and that would have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The fact that I can't tell that's drawn on a picnic table is pretty awesome, because Kevin does an awesome job.
I agree that it's a little thinner than I would like, but you know, we're heralds, not art critics.
Yep.
That's within the range of some period heraldic artwork is emaciated.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then some period heraldic artwork is Italian.
I resemble that remark.
Does the person who got convinced at Oddstar Art Heraldic and Scribble last month to put together a class on Italian heraldry?
I would say that while it may be considered emaciated from the top up, it matches perfectly.
Perfect fishtail, a little skinny at the top, but still very good. Because you were cutting out there. Is that what you said?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. It's like the first half of your comment comes in cleanly, and then the quality drops off. Speak in short sentences, Giovanni.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to make the note to just send up this device.
Yep.
Moving on to number 14, Rose Mahler.
Rosa.
All right, you German heralds.
Rosa
Mahler.
Rosa is, yeah. The pronunciation would be Rosa. Say again?
long as it's not Alma Mahler, I won't ping for.
So
No,
because
this is
because this is German, it's Rosa, not Rose.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
We Germans like to pronounce all of the letters.
Obviously.
and swallow them if you can while pronouncing them. But yeah, if you look at the SOSN, the SOSN entry specifically says this given name is from a serf from a valley in the southern Black Forest dated to 1282. This is German.
Mm-hmm.
Stem to
All
stern.
right. We're going to send this one up.
There you go.
Number 15. Name and device. Name Safia al-Zahra Isfahani.
Okay. Without that third part of the name, we run into a brick wall.
But
With that third part, it should be absolutely clear. I just don't know enough about the Persian or even Arabic naming practices to be able to say what's the correct form. But you absolutely have to have Ishfani or Ishfania or whatever form, because there's via Ontier in December 2013 there is a Safia al-Zahra registered.
okay. So the Isfahani clears the conflict.
Absolutely.
Correct.
I will say a few years ago, I did the name documentation for Rahil Isfahani, and that's where I found, and in fact, it was in email correspondence with Ursula, who was helping me at the time. And I don't know that I
Right.
can go dig up the correspondence where she herself, she wrote the article, and she said, yeah, Isfahani doesn't have to be feminized. It's Persian. But basically what I did was I copied the documentation from Rahil's submission and
Right.
just copy-paste.
I
Yeah, and
ended up as it is.
Then
that
we
is-
should be fine.
That is an accurate. I've spent time in the Middle East. That is an accurate Arabic name construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the question was, it's as Isfahani is Persian rather than Arabic. Because I'm guessing if it were Arabic, it would be required to be feminized, but since it's Persian, it's not.
That's name heraldry black magic.
But then again, I just
Well-
checked. There aren't any boxes checked for making changes. So send it on up. Let Pelican feminize it if it needs to be.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Ursula will have an opportunity to weigh in on this. And
Yeah, oh, yeah.
advise Pelican accordingly.
All right then.
Which
Send
appendix is it that's language groups?
A.
No,
C.
found it. It's
Oh, is it C? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Is it
no,
late
sorry.
period Arabic can be combined with Persian.
Yep.
All right. Extra good to know.
I'm looking at Rahil's items at the moment.
And yeah, worth mentioning the
Yeah, worth mentioning the compatibility.
Yep.
Mhm.
Include that in your docs.
Yep.
Okay. Mention, that's Appendix C.
Yes, Appendix Charlie. Appendix C is in Charlie. Arabic from 1100 to 1600 can be combined with Greek, Iberian, Italian, Mongol, Persian, and Turkish.
Okay.
Compatible language.
well, maybe combined with
That
Persian
brings-
for Appendix C.
Yes.
That
Can
brings
it be
Okay.
combined with Iberian and Persian, just those two as well?
Iberian, Persian, among others.
I mean, all we have to say here is Arabic may be mixed with Persian for Appendix C.
Yep.
Okay.
Or something like
The point was that apparently Safia is not, well, it's Andalusian, it's Iberian, but it's an Arabic name Arabs in Spain.
It's Arabic name.
So it is Arabic.
Yeah, it works. It's not a problem.
I knew it wasn't, but yeah, getting all of our ducks in a row.
I've got a quick DAQ. Do we have any dates on any of this? Do we need dates on any of this?
Arabs in Spain. Arabs in Spain would be late period.
No, I don't doubt that. Yeah.
Yes, they have been recently cracking down on undated names. And just because it's in an article on, say, the no photocopy list or in an article in heraldry.sta.org, that doesn't guarantee passage.
So I guess maybe a note to include the dates on those before it gets sent up.
Not sure there are any dates.
Well, if there are...
Okay, an article says they range from 700 to 1200 AD.
Okay, now what do we...
I think then we can leave it out because it is one of those things that the dates in the article, the dates are in the article.
But they're not specified by name.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. So masculine's name, wait a minute. Persian. I can put in there the
Persian masculine names article says that this is a biographical dictionary written in the 15th century.
Excellent.
Yep. And I can do the same thing with Ursula's because her name, Nafahat.
It's in the article.
It's 15th century.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, Gottfried, after the meeting is over, I will send you better notes. All right. So.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I need to post-it note. I need to talk to you about one once we go offline as well.
Okay.
One that's currently up at Laurel.
Once we're offline too.
Is there an issue then if the Andalusian till 1200 and we're seeing 15th century?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, he asked if 1200 versus the 15th century. I think that's within 100 years.
It's after. It's fine. It's the time period is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
No temporal disparity.
It said something about it's after 1100. This name and this name can be combined.
Right.
All right. All good. The device. Argent, a peacock in his pride, azure, within a four-lobed quadrate cornice purpure. Gosh, that's pretty.
Ooh, another cornice.
And that looks so incredibly Arabic, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Without straining.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, the internal detailing goes away on the peacock, but whoop-dee, it's unmistakable.
Yeah.
Well, then we're just going to send the device up. There's really nothing else to say. Okay. Number 16, Sol Arguilo de Santiago. Not really a lot to say.
No conflicts. There's only 12 de Santiagos.
Okay. I mean, we do have a name from around 1100. We have the first two parts from around 1100, and we have the surname cited to 1600.
But since they're all Spanish, there's the 500-year.
Yeah.
It's less than 500 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Well,
good.
you just make 1101 to 1600. Maxwell promoted it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can document that last name, the last name to 1600. It's also a locative.
Well, as documented, it presents a concern. So if we can get the Santiago,
Let me check. I'll work on it.
yeah, back it up, that'd be good. It's not a reason to not send it up from here.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll see if I can get. I'll check also, see if I can get something deeper.
Yeah.
All right, so I will add just that little note. Send up with an earlier. The Santiago,
Well,
if possible.
we can document the town to much earlier. Santiago de Compostela is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yeah.
So it would.
How was it spelled in period? That's always my question.
Hey guys, I've got from Family Search, I've got 1512 or 1514.
Oh, sweet.
Much better.
That's way closer. Yeah.
Did she want the capital D?
That's the way it's in it's the way it's written in Family Search.
With the 1512?
Yep.
Lovely.
Sweet.
But that doesn't mean that that's accurately transcribed from the source material on that particular detail.
Right now, what I'm looking at is every single one of them shows a capital D.
And that may be, and if you will, an editorial convention from
autocorrect. I agree.
Yeah. You know, and it goes back to 1501 even.
What I know of construction of Spanish names, the day would never have been capitalized.
So we may or may not get a capital D on the De Santiago, but we're going to get De Santiago.
Yeah.
Yeah, De Santiago is no problem. You can certainly push it back to the beginning of the 16th century and get it down to 400 years, so nobody sweats it.
She checked the box for no major changes. I'm sure a little
not a major
rather than a big D
No.
is major.
That is not a major.
That's not a major
not
change.
in this.
Okay.
It's going to be De Santiago coming out the other end. And
all right. So let's move along to number 17, being the last items on this letter. Fräulein Nurkenhauer. Love that name.
Yes. Couple of things. I mean, they asked me the questions. I gave them the information, but here's where I'm coming up with some of the issues. I mean, there's no major issues. It's just all spelling issues. The header entry is actually spelled. It's got an E that's in there as well. But if you look at the dated spellings, I can go in Brechenmacher. That's within the comments. I've got a 1341 and a 1422 spelling. I don't know if the submitter is tracking that. I know she's tracking the name, and it absolutely is a name for a butcher, and it quite literally translates as bone hitter.
All right, I am making sure that the missing E in Hauer, I'm going to make sure that that's not my bad.
I don't know. I was just looking at the docs themselves, and I don't know who did. I mean, it's got my name as the consulting.
Oh, your name is the consulting, even though you don't really. Okay.
I didn't fill the form out. That's the thing. I did not fill this form out. I did give the information. Yep, that is correct. And I said, here, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to find it. Somewhere, I think in the process, whoever filled the form out dropped the E when they put it in the name.
Or just forgot to type the E in. That's what she's also saying.
No, I am looking at the doc. I'm looking at the original scan of the doc.
Okay, yeah, somebody made a spelling error. It's not a big deal.
Can people see it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, so because down in the name documentation, it's spelled with an H-A-U-E-R for sure.
Correct. And that's the header entry for Brechenmacher. And then you've got two specific dated spellings that are, well.
Well, and that's the question that's going to come back. she wants the HAUR or HAUER probably, but the spellings are HOWER.
Correct.
So do we have a dated spelling of HAUER?
Negative, not in Brechenmacher. And I couldn't, well, I'd have to, I haven't done a family search.
I'll get on that right now.
Yeah, because I would, she didn't mark any don't change boxes, but, you know, I think I recognize the difference between HAUER and HAWER, and that would be significant to me.
Right.
So let us hope that Brigitte can come up with an HAUER, because I'm pretty sure she'll be okay with sticking the other E in it if she can have the AU.
Right.
Darn it. She's from Moonstone. They were at the event this past weekend. If I had thought, I could have tracked her down and talked to her about it at the event this weekend.
She may be okay with the other spellings too. It's she wants the butcher or bone hitter most important.
Right, and that is unmistakable, the occupational by name and
With-
literal translation.
And with this device of the dismembered boar. Shall we go on and talk about the dismembered boar while we're waiting for Brigitte to come back with something from Family Search?
Yes.
Yep.
I have to agree that I had a hard time realizing this was dismembered. On the other hand, I can see it being dismembered, but they're not like thrown enough away.
I
had lists. Go ahead.
I echo the concern.
I will point out that the background, the red and the blue, they are far enough away that the background shows, and in the color corrected version, you can see the background around the joints.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and that's a good thing. And I would totally just go ahead and send it up, but I'm concerned that it won't be dismembered enough.
Or because of the tail not being distinctive enough for a boar.
You might want to check Parker's Heraldry Dictionary.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at it right now, and it specifies limbs cut off but left so near to the parts whence they are severed that the outline of the animal remains the same. Find outline the same.
All right,
Okay.
I have found dismembered. Let's see. But left so near, because you were kind of roboting.
Right.
Oh, look at the picture right next to dismembered. The dismembered parts are not very far away from where they were cut. The outline of the
is that a
animal
link?
remains the same. No, in Parker's. Let me put.
Unfortunately, though, they could say that Parker is past period, so it doesn't matter.
Well, but still, it is.
So I posted a link to dismembered in Parker. It's in the chat. So if people can see it.
No, right. Okay.
And I am striking out on Family Search, and I checked in Socian too, and I can't get that particular spelling.
Yeah.
I think part of the issue with the dismembering is that it's not quite like that picture. It's not, here's a thing cut off. It's, here's the shoulder outline that I've decided is.
And yeah, that's not dismembered.
Yeah. If the arm was cut, rather than being up on the shoulder, then absolutely this is dismembered. But as it is, I don't know if they'd call that an artist note or if it's something they'd kick back. I would send it up regardless, but I'd be watching this one.
I agree.
And if nothing else, I'll have to summarize that there was discussion about this, and we recognize there might be some.
I think if you get a little bit too carried away with that, you are going to ask for trouble. Because I think if they look at it and this image combined with the name, I think together, it adds to the identifiability. So yeah. I don't want to give them enough rope to hang us with.
Oh, I think people will come up with the idea without any prompting.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Just present it as is, and I think you can rely on somebody to go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And raise the same concern that was just raised here. And then discussion can go forward.
Okay, so wait for someone to raise the question and then go into it from there.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that might be the better course.
Okay.
And if nobody says anything, then
we hold our breath.
Well,
right?
No, you're not necessarily golden because somebody may say something during the brief meeting and go, wait a minute. But all the same.
All right, so my note is just send up. Not saying send up with a note or without a note. I'm just saying send it up. Now, Brigitte came back with, she struck out in Family Search looking for H-A-U-E-R.
Yep, and I looked at the index in Sochin and couldn't find anything there either.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should send it up with the bits from Brechenmacher that the dated spellings have the H-O-W-E-R and no.
I think, that's the best bet, is just to include what Gottfried had from Brechenmacher and just put it up the flagpole.
All right, I'm going to take this one because I have a warm, fuzzy spot in my heart for Moonstone. So Dorcas will contact submitter to get permission to get her preference versus Knakenhauer versus Knokenhauer. Yes.
Where is Moonstone?
Emporia, Kansas. Yeah, so it's, an easy drive for them to Batavia, which is Wichita, Kansas. So, like, the whole contact group was there. Okay. Well, so that is the last item. We've discussed the device. And
I threw in a little more about the Santiago de Compostela, just in case you want some more stuff of proof that Santiago would have been a very significant city throughout pretty much all of period.
And Gottfried, I emailed you directly the Family Search link of the 1519 citation.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just...
Thankfully, I still read enough Spanish to have gotten through that.
Aha. Okay, so there is my note. So now what I'd like to do is go down the notes that I have, which are very sparse, but just to make sure that I didn't really miss anything. Item number 1, the name is send it up. Item number 2, the device is send it up. Item number 3, the name, change it to Brandsmither, like the submitter wants, and send it up. Item 4, the name change, to include the fact that dash means good luck and format it the same way the Unigen means fox is formatted, and send it up with that. Number 5, the device add hexagonal to the blazon and send it up. Number 6, the badge, just send it up. Number 7, the badge, reblazon as fieldless issuant from a tower sable, a demi-bear ghouls, and send it up. Number 8, the name, send up. Number 8, the device, send up. Number 9, the name, change the by name to Inkira and include a note that it was changed with permission of the submitter.
Right.
The name on number 10, spell the given name with an ogonek. Do not change Bessinger, but mention the possible typo in Girbasi.
Right.
The device, number 10, reblazon that as Argent, a Vulknut sable between 2 axes adorsed in pile ghouls, and in chief 3 escutcheons sable. And any Appendix J issues are above our pay grade, so send this up. Number 11, the names. Anita will contact the submitter to suggest a middle name, and I sent you that email with various more discussion. Otherwise, send it up, and the external letter has a week before it actually has to go out.
Right.
Number 11, the device is send up. 12, the names and device, just send up. 13, the spelling of the given name is changed to Oddnefer and send it up. ODDNEFR. 13, the device, send up. 14, the name, send up. 15, the name, send up. Mention Appendix C, compatible languages. Mention that the names are dated in the articles where they came from. So probably add the dates to the notes when you compile the external letter.
Right.
The device for 15, send it up. The name for number 16, we have an earlier de Santiago, so we're going to send that one up in send that documentation
in its place. Up. Yes.
Yes, instead of. Number 17, I'm going to contact the submitter and see about what she has to say about one of the different dated spellings. But the device for number 17 just gets sent up.
Okay.
Did I miss anything important?
I don't think so. And I just double checked on the YouTube and I didn't see any questions.
Okay. Well then, I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. No, I'm not. The next important thing to mention is that the next internal decision meeting will be on Monday, August 28th. All right, is there anything else I need to mention before we turn off the broadcast? All right, everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks for viewing. Gonna click stop and